In this video, we're going to talk about the LINQ where clause, which is a means of filtering a sequence to only include values that meet some criteria, usually called a predicate. You'll see that used in the IntelliSense. The word predicate means what are the conditions? What is the where clause? Okay, we're going to show how to create filtering conditions for a comparison. We're going to demonstrate using multiple where clauses using both the AND operator and the OR operator. So let's go ahead and get started. You can see I have my usual setup here where I'm getting an order list comprised of setup orders. That's more like it. And setup orders creates, a list of orders, each with order items, and we've been using it throughout today's lessons and maybe previous to that. I can't recall. All right, so we're looking for comparisons. And so the first thing that we want to do is look at this comparison. And since we're getting started here, let's do this. And we'll just do order ID, I guess, for a moment, and then we'll worry about that later. Let's just see if this works before I start explaining stuff. What did I do wrong here? The dangers of copying and pasting. There we go. Okay, so we're in good shape now. All right, so let's take a look at this first example. From O and order list, where O.order_ID equals 9010, which I happen to know. It's a plant. Okay, I know which one I'm looking for here in this specific case. Then select it. Select the entire object, and then we're just going to loop through everything that's returned back. And notice that I'm not selecting just one. We'll talk about this in the next video. I'm still working with a grouping. It just happens to include only one item in the sequence. Okay, but we're going to loop through the one item in orders and print the order ID to screen, which we just did. Okay, so again, the where clause, I can set it where O.order_ID equals, so some value equals some other value. All right, so that's the most simple case. Let's build on that. Similar. This time we're going to do an O.orderItems.count. So give me any order where the customer ordered more than one product. So you can see here, using the where statement, I'm able to traverse through the object hierarchy and even use a method on the collection to determine the count. So I'm able to do a lot within my where clause. That's all I'm saying. Let's go ahead and run this example, and we can see we only get one item back. All right, so let's do this now. We're going to take a slightly more advanced example, and we're going to use the AND operator to queue up two where clauses. The first one, make sure the order date is greater than December 8, 2007. And make sure that the order item count is greater than 2. I would imagine this still only brings back one order, okay? Because of this. Let's remove this just for fun. I want to make sure that I'm doing this right. Okay, seems to work right. I was a little bit worried there. We're only pulling back the same piece of data every time. But it is successful in that regard. Okay, so now we've used two conditions using the AND. Let's use two conditions, this time using the OR operator in C#. So either give me those orders that are greater than December 9th, or give me those orders with a count greater than 3. Okay, so you can see it merges two results together so we get a larger set. Okay. They only have to meet one of those two conditions. All pretty basic, right? Well, that's pretty much it with the where clause. Now, we showed you the query syntax. Let's take a look at the method syntax to accomplish these same sorts of things. This is another instance where for simple LINQ statements, the query syntax is a little bit more human readable because you don't have to deal with lambdas. Take a look at the same thing that we did here, which looks so simple and so obvious. Here, because of the lambdas, it does look a little nutty, admittedly. Okay, so first we're starting with the where, and then we're doing a select. Let's go ahead and run this, and I'm going to try and do it without the select and see what happens. Okay, I get the same results. So the select really does, in this particular case, nothing for me. I'm not really sure why I have it in there. So just remember you can use it with or without the select in that particular case. And in a similar vein, let's go to the next example here. And here we are looking for orders. And the lambda expression, again, says it all. Using this where extension method, we're able to pass in, given O, give me all the orders that have more than one order items, or more than two order items. Let's run that. We get that same order again, 9010. Here again. How do we use an AND using method syntax? I think we looked at this already. Essentially, I'm doing the where, but inside the where, I am using the AND operator to combine together the body of this lambda expression. So here is given O, here's the body, do this, and if it returns true, then add it to my collection of orders. And that means the same thing would be true of this example using OR. Wait, a little bit different idea this time. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. This is not the OR, this is the AND. So here in this example, I use the AND operator. In this example, I use a where to do one filtering of the data, and then I chain it with another where to do a second filtering of the data. Let's see if we get the same results. And it looks like we do. Okay, so there are a couple of different ways using the method syntax to achieve the same thing. We can either use, one lambda expression or two lambda expressions, essentially, to filter. How is it implemented internally? We don't know. I would assume that it's implemented the same regardless of this, but only a battery of tests using a large number of iterations would really tell us internally if it's implemented any differently. Let's go ahead and comment this out. All right, now we're going to get to that OR that I promised you just a moment ago. And here, almost identical to the AND, I'm just using that single lambda expression in order to combine two arguments together. So either it has to satisfy this part of the body of the lambda, or it has to satisfy this part of the body of the lambda in order to be added to our orders collection. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up. There's not a lot to the where. Basically, anything that you need to filter by, if you need to do multiple filters, you can do that using either the double ampersand, the AND operator in C#, or the two pipes, the OR operator in C#, or you can string together a number of the where methods, extension methods, to achieve the same sort of thing. Okay, so I believe in the next video we're going to continue looking at the different parts of LINQ. I think we're going to look at from and join. So we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.